Was a senior NHS psychiatrist for many years, specializing in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease here in London. But heeding an inner call, he left the NHS and a lucrative private practice in the UK to take up a leadership role in the university established by his ashram. Chinmay serves on the governing body of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. He is a trustee of the India Development Foundation, chaired by the Indian Foreign Minister, and he is one of the judges of the Templeton Prize Committee. A truly significant personality in India and beyond, I'm very privileged to invite him, as well as Professor Ford, to come to the dais.
Thanks, Oshana. Good evening to everyone, and my respectful pranams to all of you too. I'm sorry that I haven't prepared any formal speech for this evening and decided to speak from heart. So if I make any mistake, then please do excuse me. London is like a second home to me. I lived here for about 8 years. Both Krish and Professor Ford, they are more than a brother to me. So I cannot even describe that how happy and proud I feel for being part of this special occasion. Because to me, that confirms the formidable spirit of the people of London. It's amazing diversity, something that I always admired and cherished about London, even the days when I was here and when now I'm back in India. But today I'm standing here as an outsider because I don't live in London anymore. However, I'm representing a nation where it's hard to imagine a life without a faith, and I would like to offer my humble perspective on the significance of such an important initiative as faith in leadership, especially in the context of India, and why did we decide to deliver this degree to Professor Ford on this occasion. Because to me, the need of a quality leadership that is driven by the faithful values, where the faith is in the center, has never been as strong as it has been in recent times. I worked as a psychiatrist, and we evaluate the global well-being on the parameters of collective consciousness level. And even if you are not a psychologist and never had a formal training in the psychology, if you look at the people, what you would see emerging is chaos, conflict, fear of escalating tensions between nations, societies, communities, ideologies, religion, faith, fear of an apocalyptic end to the mankind, either from a drastically shifted climate or from an angry asteroid. I don't know. There could be endless reasons for people to be afraid of. But what we as faith leaders are most afraid of are people losing faith in themselves, faith in humanity. Because no matter where you go and to whom you ask, I think the simple questions of the life are proving to be most difficult to answer. Are we really happy? Are we genuinely satisfied? Do we really trust each other, or we pretend to be? Do we really feel safe walking on the streets? Do we really have the lives as we pretend over the Facebook? Maybe true for some people, but I don't know. For most, it's not there. And it's not there because for long, we have been dreaming a dream from which we are just waking up. The dream that if we just improve the means of the people, then everyone would be happy. That you give the people money, power, position, and everyone would be miraculously happy. The truth is that as the struggle for survival has subsided, the real questions of the life have started to emerge. Survival for what? Now people have means to live, but no meaning to live for. And to have meaning in the life, we need faith. To have direction in the life, we need leadership. And without a meaning and direction, there could be no life. So to me, faith in leadership is the life. People like us sitting here in this room, that's the life, that's the future. There could be nothing beyond that. And I'm very proud to say that with something as precious as life, faith in leadership, Krish, and we as their Indian partners are establishing the first ever Indian Institute of Leadership and also the Indian module of the Faith in Leadership in India, with both Professor Ford, Sarah Snyder here in India. And that was a dream of the founder of Gayatri Parivar and Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya that's coming true. And I would like to briefly mention him for two reasons. A, it's impossible to describe what he managed to accomplish in his lifetime. Imagine a person who fluidly authored more than 3,000 books in his lifetime on every single aspect of humanity, and also fashioned a complete new world order based on the fundamental tenets of humanity like unity, diversity, sacredness, and compassion, which is also the same values of faith in leadership. And he talked about having a parivar, a family together, which is what we now are. The identity that we have taken is of a family of 110 million people with 5,000 global centers. So this degree that I'm about to deliver to Professor Ford is heavier than it looks, because it's not only the emblem and crest, but also the heartfelt sentiments of 110 million people from India. So I'm also thankful to Faith in Leadership for introducing us to Professor Ford, also to Krish. I may be able to say many things about Professor Ford, but I see him as my father, and I see him with all my deepest affection and reverence. In the last convocation, in the most recent convocation, the degree was conferred to him in India for his exceptional work in ecumenical theology and scriptural reasoning. But what made it special was this was the first ever recognition of this stature ever conferred by a Vedic education-based University of India to an international scholar of Christian tradition. And I don't think nothing could have been a more fitting place for this to be delivered than a gathering where all faiths are congregated in one room. And I also remember that first time I met him in 2014 in British Library with Krish. And I shared one Vedic aphorism with him, which says, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And it means humanity can never be divided. We are all part of one single family. So he said to me that, Chinmay, if world has to become one, then we should start building bridges now. So I think it's safe to say that paper looks thin, but it is stronger than a brick, because it is holding a bridge between India and the West. So with that feeling and gratitude to all of you for so patiently listening to me, on behalf of Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya, Honorable Chancellor, all the people of India, I am delivering this highest degree of India to Jesus Professor David Ford.